Hey, is this thing on? Is that an old joke? Have I said that before? I think so. But we'll say it again. What's up, everyone? Your lovable host, Danny Case, SonicFlare, reporting live. Not really, but almost. From the biggest, the best, the greatest hi-fi show the world has ever seen. And ever will see again, presumably. Which is, of course, Munich High End, put on by the High-End Society of Germany. With that, let's roll the intro. So now that you've seen the intro, I'm done. Thank you for tuning in. Always a pleasure. No, we're going to keep going. Ha! Gotcha, didn't I? So high-end Munich 2024, by all accounts from what I've seen, and unfortunately I couldn't go this year. I really wanted to. I couldn't go. But from all accounts and from all that I've heard and read and seen online and all the YouTubers that have reported from it, all 562,433 channels, it was a bang-up show. I think it was something like 22 or 23,000 attendees, which is remarkable. I mean, usually I think the US side of shows captures at most maybe 10,000 plus or minus, somewhere on there. So this is far and beyond the biggest, best high-end audio show, hi-fi show that the world has. And of course, you know, I've been in this for what, 24 years now, in high-end audio and writing for magazines and such. And you know, at first I remember way back when my first CES shows and other shows that I went to, I was all excited. I was like, oh, all the new toys, this, that, and the other. Of course, now it's, you know, you get a little more into it. You start realizing that, well, you know, okay, why are we doing these shows? What's the point? It's 2024. You have press releases, you have online, you have YouTube, you can, you know, the cost of the shows is extraordinarily high, particularly the Munich high-end show. Just to give you some perspective, the smallest room that you can get is about 20 to 25,000 euros. So, you know, you often wonder when you see these show coverage and all that, you know, why are there all these manufacturers pumped up in one room? Well, they're all splitting the bill, right? Now you factor in that's just a show to have that room, the suite, whatever it is, and it's just the smallest one. You factor in travel costs, you factor in gear costs, you factor in, if you're a small shop, you know, 2-man show, 3-man show, ending production for a period of 4 weeks where you can't ship product, you can't make product because you're attending the show. Hotel fees, travel, you know, car rental, this, that, and the other. And pretty soon you see the budgets ballooning to, you know, 50, 60,000 euros for this, for just one manufacturer. And so I've always wondered, especially over the last sort of maybe 5-10 years, you know, kind of what is the point of these shows? Like, I get it. High-end Munich is predominantly a B2B show. So it's for manufacturers to connect with distributors and vice versa. It's less of a consumer show. even though Saturday and Sunday are consumer show days, so the public is able to attend. And of course, that's when all mayhem breaks loose, right? Last time I went was 2022, and they had issues with air conditioning. And I tell you, you pack 50, 60, 70, 80 people into a room that haven't showered in a day or two or three, and it's a stink bomb. It becomes very uncomfortable very quickly. And, never mind, you're actually listening to music. You're actually trying to evaluate what something sounds like. Are you kidding me? What's the point? I mean, if you're attending one of these shows to figure out what something sounds like, I got news for you, Charlie. No, I would save my money and I would not do that. Consequently, I never in the last 10, 15 years of reporting, I really stopped when I was writing reviews of shows and articles on shows after the visit. I would basically just stop reporting on sound quality because it's like, what's the point, right? I mean, you're not going to hear the gear how you're supposed to hear it. You're going to have all sorts of issues with gear. You're going to have all sorts of issues with rooms. And so at best, it's going to serve you the purpose of, okay, well, I kind of see what it looks like, this, that, and the other. Sonically, forget it. Right? Not worth reporting about. And of course, this show was really no different. And so the YouTubers out there that are reporting on the sound quality, I was even watching this one guy, Jay's Audio Lab, live in the room right now. And I'm like, okay, and what's the point of that? I mean, hey, if that's what you want to do, go for it. I just, if you're watching that kind of stuff, I don't understand what the point of it is, because it's not going to sound like that once you bring that gear into your home and into your own four walls, period. So anyway, at best, I think, yes, I can see the validity of these shows from the perspective of, you're connecting with manufacturers that are maybe hard to get to, manufacturers that are not obviously on the bandwagon of the internet, which I still don't know if that's going to work out or not. I heard about it, but it's kind of like Blockbuster. I think Blockbuster is here to stay. Anyway, so I can see how that could work out, but for the most part, most companies are releasing stuff online these days. They're not timed in or tied in with show releases any longer, like they used to be back in the days of CES, which used to be the biggest high-end show in the world for audio and hi-fi. And so, I think it's just, I question the validity, and I wonder if manufacturers would not be much better served flying out a distributor, putting them up in a nice hotel, spending 2 or 3 quality days with them in a closed environment that you control, rather than meeting up at a show. But hey, what do I know? With that, there's of course been a couple of major announcements coming in from all walks of life. I think first and foremost, I want to highlight Wilson Audio actually re-released the Watt Puppy, and which I think is fantastic. The Watt Puppy was the first Wilson speaker that I sort of heard, and this is, I'm thinking back, this must have been in the early mid-90s, 94, 95, somewhere around there. I forgot what model it was, maybe the Watt Puppy 4, because they didn't do the 5, I think, because of the number 5 in Asia, or is it 4? I don't know, I forgot, one of those. And it was the first speaker from Wilson Audio. I was like, wow, this sounds really amazing for such a small setup, right? And of course, so many transitions have happened since then. And the Sasha V, which is essentially what the Watt Puppy has become these days, now has a smaller sibling, the Watt Puppy. And, you know, congratulations to Daryl and the team. I mean, seriously, it's, I have the Sasha V here. There's going to be a review coming up very soon. But the Watt Puppy, I think, is going to be a bang-up seller. Most importantly, which I think is really cool, actually, they kept the price, of course, inflation adjusted, the same as the very last Sasha that rolled off the production line way back when in 2011, if I recall, maybe 2012. So kudos to them. Of course, it's got, you know, the latest technologies and such from Wilson Audio scaled down to that price point. So that should be a really cool speaker, and I look forward to hearing it in due time. Next up, Gryphon announced the new turntable that was actually designed by Helmut Brinkmann. And it's, to be perfectly honest with you, it kind of underwhelmed me. I mean, I guess these days, when you're expecting all these introductions, you're expecting like the mega buck stuff, right? Wilson Benesch showed off for the fourth year in a row now, second or third year in a row now, the big turntable they have, which is, you know, $300,000-$400,000. And, you know, you're kind of expecting these, you know, zombie-like apocalyptic flagship doomsday machines. And the Gryphon turntable kind of looks normal. I mean, all things considered. And it's got a twin motor setup, twin belt drive, the arm tube and the cartridge, which is made by Orifon, is coated in DLC, diamond-like coating, which is a very, very hard and very stiff coating. What is that going to do to resonances and all that? Well, presumably it's going to shift them up into higher frequencies that are not going to get attracted to the sound coming out of the cartridge and the head shell and all that. You know, twin motors, not a fan of that. You know, I always look at it from the perspective of, okay, simple, in my opinion, with turntables particularly, generally is better. Two motors, now you have two motors with twice the bearing noise to deal with. Twice the belts, right? So now you have twice the friction to deal with. Then you have to deal with, you know, making sure that both motors are running exactly in sync, which is very difficult to do. It's not impossible to do. I'm just saying it's very difficult to do. And, you know, on and on and on. So what is it going to sound like? I have no idea. Could sound great. I have no idea. Interestingly enough, of course, what is undisputable is the price point. I think with the arms, two arms and cartridges, it's 165,000 euros. I mean, I don't know. Again, we're in you know, a lot of people say that we're in the golden age of hi-fi and high-end audio. And I think we're in the gilded age of high-end and hi-fi. I mean, the price points are escalating to insanity and beyond pretty darn quickly, right? I mean, do I look at that turntable and think it's 165,000 euros? Honestly, I don't. So anyway, Wilson Benesch, you know, again, kind of like, you know, the Joker OMA, Jonathan Weissmuller, the original Tarzan. His turntable is $350,000. The K5 or K3, you know, worked with, you know, multiple teams across multiple continents. And, you know, I don't know. I would never pay that amount of money for a turntable. I don't care how good it is. I think it's just ridiculous. But that's just me. Other people may well be inclined to do so. And hey, good for them, right? What else is new? So we talked about, talk about turntables. Okay, here comes the introduction that is really sort of super double, triple baffling. And what is it? Technics announced a partnership with Lamborghini Automobili, or Automobili Lamborghini. And I'm like, why? What? And of course, I read through the Technics press release, and it's hilarious. You know, both companies are, you know, at the forefront of sound and development and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, really? Seriously? A Technics 1200 has something in common with a Lamborghini Huracan or Gallardo, or, you know, I don't even know what the latest version of the Lamborghinis that are out there are. But again, it's like one of those, okay, huh? What's the point of this? And of course it comes with the, I think it's in like 3 different colors. And it's got the Lamborghini shape in it. A little carbon fiber plaque on the bottom right. I have no idea what the point of that is. I really don't. I see absolutely zero synergies between Lamborghini and Technics. Zero. So, I don't know. Whatever. Hey, you want a Lamborghini branded Technics turntable? Well, now you can have one. Good luck to you. Looking through my list. Let's see, we talked about the Gryphon, the Wilson puppies. Yep. Local company from Maine, Rockport Technologies, released the Lynx speaker, their latest model. It's a bit of a trickle down from the Lyra. And at $78,000, it should be, you know, obviously, again, priced, you know, in that upper stratosphere of affordability. That said, Rockport Technologies, they genuinely have some really cool stuff going on. I've been planning a factory tour, video tour for some time now. And hopefully that's going to come to fruition this summer, which I'm really excited for. I hold Rockport in very high regard. I think they're definitely doing very cool stuff. I like the sound of their systems and speakers. So this should be a good intro. Kudos to them for, you know, again, local Maine business, introducing a new product at the show. And of course, then, you know, you have the all the mega buck introductions. You know, I think Cesario introduced a new, I may have mispronounced that, apologies, a new, you know, $1 million+ speaker system, horn loaded. And look, I can tell you, if you've never been to these shows, I can guarantee you, without even having listened to it, you're not going to hear what this thing sounds like. I can guarantee you. So anyway, again, my point earlier, you know, fly the distributor out to your showroom, save yourself money, save yourself time, energy, the headache. Can you imagine setting up a system like that in first place for just 3 or 4 days? Wow. Anyway, yeah. So, you know, again, Munich show, I am not saying I'm not going to attend in the future, which I'm definitely hoping and planning to at some point, probably next year would be my guess. But I think the efficacy of these shows is very much diminishing. I think for certain manufacturers that have very high margins, cable companies, question mark? Maybe that's a scenario, a financial scenario that makes sense for them. For other companies that are on normal margins, operating on regular margins in the industry, from a manufacturing perspective, you know, again, I don't know that these shows really make sense. The whole concept of the show. So that's just me, my opinion. I mean, I've got lots of ideas for how to sort of recreate these shows for a new environment. But that's a topic for another day. Meanwhile, what's happening in Studio A, which we're recording this in. So the good news is Vicoustic received all my measurements for the room. And they, in fact, have created a setup for my room very specifically with the panels that I'm going to be getting. They should be shipping hopefully next week. which means that I'm going to be a busy boy for the next couple of weeks, setting them up, getting them all dialed in. And then I think we're going to be rocking and rolling in Studio A, which I'm super excited for. That is going to be coming up, so keep an eye out. I'm going to be, I've got some really cool new music on LP and CD. Actually, I started unboxing some of my CDs. I probably have about 1,000 or so, somewhere on there, maybe 1,500, that I need to find a home for. So I've been going through stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. This is fantastic. So that's going to be coming in a video as well. And yeah, I guess you all have a great summer, or a great summer, a great weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend for those of us in the U.S. Thank you for all those heroes of ours that fought in wars past, present, and future. And yeah, tune in soon for the next episode.